I can see you kind of bouncing up and down. And what's the emotion that you're feeling right now?
Discomfort, sadness, maybe a bit of regret.
Regret? Why?
I wonder why out of all the three people that were spared, I was one of them.
Yesterday, we shared the incident when 10 people were killed at a supermarket in Buffalo on Saturday by a suspect in tactical gear who was live streaming the attack.
Meanwhile, President Biden and the First Lady will travel to Buffalo on Tuesday to grieve with the community after yesterday's mass shooting inside a supermarket there that ended with 10 people dead and 3 others injured.
Today, police released victims' names, and we searched high and low for their faces and information to share. The victims aged between 32 and 86 years old. Among them was a former police officer, a woman who helped feed the poor, and a man who drove shoppers to and from the supermarket. Another 3 people were injured. Roberta, 32, was a helper, the youngest of 4 siblings. She moved from Syracuse to Buffalo in 2010 to assist her oldest brother and help care for his children as he underwent treatment for leukemia. Margise, 52, was a local and proud to say that he was from Buffalo, New York. Andre, 53, was a loving father and grandfather. He was going to the supermarket that day to get a birthday cake for his son. Aaron, 55, a retired police officer who was working as the security guard in a Tops Friendly Market store. He is known as the hero who engaged the suspect. Geraldine, 62, was doing her regular shopping with her fiancé. Sadly, she was at the front of the store when the shooting started, and her fiancé was on the opposite side getting orange juice. Celestine, 65, has 6 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. She was also a cancer survivor. She went to Tops to buy strawberries to make cakes. Deacon Hayward, 67, a dedicated churchgoer who drove people to and from the supermarket. Catherine, 72, a community activist with a beautiful soul who shared a deep connection with her siblings. Pearl, 77, who dedicated her Saturdays to working in a soup kitchen. Pearl was also known as a popular substitute teacher for Buffalo Public Schools. Ruth, 86, who had just went to visit her husband in a care home before going to the market, was also the mother of the former Buffalo Fire Commissioner. The youngest victim, store worker Zeri Goodman, 20, was released from the hospital after being shot in the neck.
I can see you kind of bouncing up and down. And what's the emotion that you're feeling right now?
Discomfort, sadness, maybe a bit of regret.
Regret? Why?
I wonder why out of all the 3 people that were spared, I was one of them.
Jennifer, 50, has also been treated and released, while Christopher, 55, is in stable condition. The New York governor announced $2.8 million in funding is going towards the victim and their family, according to a statement released from her office. The suspect in the shooting, a white male, is still in custody. He was identified as 18-year-old Peyton Gendron and pleaded not guilty to his charges.
Judge, I've been appointed to represent Mr. Gendron, and I accept that appointment. As far as any further reading of the felony complaint, I would waive that at this point and enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of my client.
Thank you. Mr. Heckler, you'd like to be heard, correct?
Yes, sir. We would respectfully request that the defendant be remanded without bail. I'd also like to let the court know that the people intend to present this directly to the grand jury, and we are providing the defendant orally their notice pursuant to 190-50.
As far as the suspect, in recent updates, police have released the FBI is questioning his parents. Questions are also being asked about whether there were red flags missed before this attack.
It's going to be a long investigation. There's search warrants that are continuing to be executed. There's going to be more that are going to be taken out on the federal side. We're going to dig into his digital footprint, computers, phones, GPS locations, get into some paperwork and find out how long this has been planned. We know what the motive is already, but look for more documentation just to prove that. It appeared that his plans were to drive out of here and then continue driving down Jefferson Avenue, looking to shoot more black people, as he put it, and possibly even go to another store location.
According to the BBC, he had already been flagged at least once by authorities, spending a day and a half in a hospital undergoing a mental health evaluation. Despite this, he was not on any FBI or statewide watch list, and no red flags reportedly came up on a background check when purchasing a firearm.
Well, he was not on the radar of law enforcement here in Buffalo. He was not on the radar that I know of to the FBI. It's my understanding that there was an alleged incident where he's from, which is in Broome County, which is some 3.5 hours from Buffalo, where there was some type of incident last year where he made some threats. I'm aware of that. We're looking into that. We're going to, obviously contact Broome County and find out what exactly happened, which could kind of help our case in the terms of, his intent and what his thinking was when he came here to Buffalo.
As we mentioned in our last video, a 180-page document has surfaced, and the Buffalo Police Commissioner reported that the evidence uncovered in the case so far makes no mistakes. He said, quote unquote, "This is an absolute racist hate crime that will be prosecuted as a hate crime." The suspect is due back in court May 19th, 2022. Our prayers and thoughts goes out to all the victims and their families.
It's just so beautifully inside and out, because good always overshadows evil. And to the people in the Buffalo community, we extend our condolences to all of the families.
My parents were married for 67, 68 years. We were wonderfully blessed to have them all of this time. My father had taken ill and had been in this nursing home for the last 8 years. My mom was there every day to take care of my father. Every day. She loved him completely. And she was doing what she did every day. And she left there and stopped by the store on the way home to get groceries and encountered this individual.
And she was a beautiful person. She got along with everybody. She was a very loving person. She would do anything for anybody on the street too.
Deacon Patterson was a man who loved people. He loved the community, he loved the church. He loved the community just as much as he loved the church. And so you would see him anywhere he was encouraging people, to be the best that they can be, telling his story. He was a jitney driver, yeah, so the people who went to Tops that didn't have transportation, he would often take them home. In fact, he had just left the soup kitchen at our church. He had just left the soup kitchen and then went over there, I guess, to work a couple hours with the jitney service. And from what I understand, he was assisting somebody putting their groceries in their car when he was shot and killed.